Dave Rahman to come in from the EverEarn team. We'll be starting shortly. Just raise your... Oh, Dave's in there. Wait a minute. The screen's moved. Oh, we've got Dave unmuted. Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Glenn, how are you, sir?
Good, good. Great to have you back.
Yeah, great to be here. My apologies. Jumping from one meeting to another since this morning. It's been great.
Well, you're losing your voice. Long day.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's all right. You know, it's how it is, right? Sorry, I thought you were saying my signal.
Oh no, you're coming through great, Dave. Yeah, it's rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Never sleeps.
No, it sure doesn't.
Have you give up your 9 to 5 and gone full time in crypto here?
Right? That would be the dream. That'd be the dream. To turn crypto into my 9 to 5, that'd be amazing. I would love it. I know my wife would love it too, because it would mean she'd get to see more of me. So
have you not seen the Twitter joke? They say I gave up my 9 to 5 because of crypto. Now I work 24/7.
Right. Oh, it does seem like that. And yeah, man, this, you think people want your attention when you're not in crypto with social media and everything. And man, you have no idea until you get into crypto how quick people want answers, or how quickly they think you're ignoring them. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But man, it's fun and stressful and tiring and exhilarating and invigorating all at the same time. But man, you gotta know how to ride that wave. That is for sure.
True, very true, Dave. Right, if you're ready, Dave, I can start the recording and introduce you, and we can go into EverEarn. I think we've had you on 5 times now, so it's the most we've had you yourself and the EverEarn project on for WorldCoin Talk. So that's a new record for us.
Well, we love this group.
Thank you, Dave. Well, a warm welcome to the WorldCoin Talk community. I'm Glenn, your host. Today we have joining us EverEarn. We've got Dave Rahman here to speak about the project. He's been on many times before, but you might not be familiar with Dave or EverEarn, so we'll go through it as we go along. But before we start, Dave, can you just tell us about yourself and how you got involved in the crypto industry?
Yeah, so I'm Dave Rahman, original co-founder of the EverEarn project, which launched over a year ago. Got into crypto, a year and a half before that. You know, time seems to start getting blurry. But I got in as a brand new noob investor. Didn't know the first thing about crypto. But heard, coworkers and friends talking about it. And so I thought I need to check this out. I mean, I'd heard about Bitcoin like so many people before who hadn't yet gotten in, but it was always in the background, in the peripheral. And then I came in at a friend's request, and man, talk about, stumbling my way through. And along the way, I met Trent Butler, the other co-founder of EverEarn. We met in the same project. And we started sharing experiences. We got involved a little more in the cryptos that we were investing in. Then we saw patterns begin to emerge, and we were like, man, there's if you're going to run a crypto project, there's got to be a better way to run it. And so, that ultimately led to the beginning of EverEarn, and working towards trying to provide something very different to investors, something that they, at the very least, there's no way to predict success, but at the very least know that they can be confident and comfortable that what they're investing in is a team that's working to be here for the long term. And, definitely here we are now after launching the project over a year ago. Still here.
Awesome, yeah. So let's go for it. I think it's important, to mention that for new investors as well. The highs, the lows, kitchen sinks have been thrown at the team, black swan events. Let's go back to January 2022. It was, and just come up to date, and then we can get into the Polygon launch and everything. Because you built up this excellent reputation in crypto, so it's important to get a sort of backstory.
And I can do that. I, of course, as usual, Glenn, I did bring a sales deck with me, so I can start sharing my screen and sort of talk through the story with that as well, if you'd like.
Yeah, however you like to do it, Dave. Yeah.
Perfect. So just turn this on, share screen. Great. All right. So 10,000 foot view. We launched EverEarn back in January 2022. Total supply 100 billion tokens. Burned 16% at launch. We regularly do actually that. We're now at 17 billion burn, but we try to maintain what works out to be about a weekly average of 20 plus million tokens burned a week, so that we can get to so that we can continue to remain deflationary. We launched with a 15% tokenomics tax on buys, sells, transfers. The big difference with EverEarn, of course, and you know this well, Glenn, is that we look at the fact that we are a rewards token. So 15% tax tokenomics on buy, sells, and transfers. 11% of that breaks down into rewards going back to holders. Now, a lot of tokens and a lot of projects have tried to launch with the reward component as basically like, well, just that. It's a reward for holding. And then they focus on trying to throw as much quote unquote utility up as they can. From our perspective, though, the passive income is the utility. And this is where our focus is making that passive income the utility. So that means all of your development and everything you do is basically meant to support working to increase the passive income going out to the holders. So that's where there is a big mental and psychological difference with us versus other quote unquote passive income projects, is that we view the passive income as the utility. That is our main focus utility for our investors as we move through the timeline. To date, we've paid out over $2 million in stablecoin rewards out to holders. Excuse me. Our ecosystem currently includes separate staking apps for which you can invest BUSD or USDC into the staking apps. You're not investing EverEarn, but you do have to hold EverEarn to get into it. There's a direct fiat purchase swap, a BNB NFT minter, an NFT tracker, a multi-chain in-browser wallet app. There's our EverEarn glossary, which has and there's a typo there, over 120 crypto lessons offered in over 100 languages, along with the largest crypto glossary library anywhere, well over 2,400 terms defined. And of course, we conduct daily community AMAs. We're quickly approaching over 400 daily AMAs. Where a member of the team, whether it's myself, Trent, Doug, or Jason, host the daily voice chat with the community, same time every day, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we are in front of the community every single day since we launched. Now, you were talking about some of the things that we've experienced and things that we've had thrown at us. Yeah, I mean, we launched basically at the end of the last bull run. And we had about 6-7 weeks of good bull run before everything in the market decided to turn. We've had exchanges fall. We had, Russia start the war with the Ukraine. We've had FTX. We've had, the global impact of recession. And, so for the most part, yeah, all of 2022, I mean, our chart looks like, hundreds of other charts. But again, remaining true to ourselves, remaining true to what our main focus is, of course, we continue to stay in front of the community, make smart decisions, not just, try to throw whatever could stick on the chart to try and, fight against an entire global impact on the markets. And so we are still here and still operating and still functioning on a daily basis. We are still here after over a year in the market when literally hundreds and thousands of other projects are not. We have not merged with anyone or joined with anyone. We've not been, swallowed up by anyone else. And we've really, really worked to not only focus on increasing the knowledge and education of the community, but also ensuring that we're very clear with what it is we're doing, what it is we're thinking, the direction that we're moving in, why we're moving in this direction. From a tokenomics perspective, and so, sorry, I jumped a little bit ahead of myself there. So coming through 2022, yeah, very tough year for everyone, no doubt about that. Coming into the end of 2022, into November, of course, we launched on the Ethereum blockchain, EverEarn ETH. And man, talk about getting blindsided. The day our pre-sale, our public pre-sale went live, FTX happened. So that was a bit of a wrench. A little bit of fly in the ointment.
FTX,
right?
Was it? Helps you out there.
Yeah, FTX was FTX was amazing. And what's it's funny because it's really easy for projects to say, oh, this one event is what affected us more than others. But the reality is, and you can anyone's free to check it out for themselves too. But ultimately, we did manage to launch after pivoting and turning. We did manage to launch on ETH a couple of weeks later. But we had to launch at a lower market cap. We had to take into consideration what the market was doing, how the investors were doing. The reality is that since our ETH launch in November, and we launched on Unicrypt as a platform, we're still in the top. I believe we're in the top 3 ETH projects to launch. Since the FTX event happened. So since November, we're still on the Unicrypt platform, still considered one of the top 3 successful launches, which really speaks volume into how much that one event greatly changed the way investors were approaching launches, or at the very least their willingness to basically ape in. It hasn't been without challenge, and of course we've continued to push forward. Despite that, we laid out our roadmap that we wanted to get ourselves established onto the 3 blockchains, which is what we're talking about today. But so just so we're clear right now, so we are now live on the BNB network. We're live on the ETH network. Right now, between the 2 contracts, the tokenomics are the same for continuity. So again, it's a 15% tax on buy, sells, and transfers. 11% of that goes to stablecoin rewards, 1% to liquidity, 1% to buyback burn, 2% to marketing. From a contract features perspective, at the moment, of course, there is no max wallet, but there is the ability for it, and I'll cover that in a moment. And there is a 0.25% max transaction limit, so 0.25% of the total supply, which is 100 billion, or a limit on transactions of 250 million tokens per transaction. Of course, on our dashboard, which is fairly robust, we do have swaps available also on the main site. Swaps available to directly buy either the BNB token or the ETH token direct from fiat or to exchange. And of course, the swaps that we currently use are based upon the Flues Trade Network, for which we're KYC'd. We've gone out of our way to KYC and audit as much as possible, including getting an entire team KYC from Solid Proof. And of course, our pictures are up on the main website. So we've got a mix of team, KYC, and fully doxed. So myself, that's Dave Rahman in the top left, myself, Trent, Jason, not only are we fully KYC'd, we're fully doxed. And then, of course, we've got Doug, Wendy, and Sugarbuzz, who are KYC'd. The big difference being, of course, their identity is fully known to the KYC providers. But what's important here is that everyone on the team is really bringing in a lot of real world experience into the team. And that I think is really critical. First and foremost, everyone on the team does work at the very least part-time all the way up to full-time, depending on where we are. Like Doug's semi-retired after having been having spent a good career as an online entrepreneur in online retail and sales. So Doug's semi-retired, but myself, I work full-time for a top 100 MSP in North America. Trent continues to work as a top-tiered Century 21 realtor entrepreneur. Jason works as a manufacturing program leader. Sugarbuzz is full-time registered nurse, plus runs her own small business on the side. So we all work full-time, and we all bring decades of experience in the real world to the team. And this is very helpful from the perspective of making sure that we work to run the project like a business. So this means the way we approach the decision-making process is very similar to the type of decision-making process that you would see in basically a new brick and mortar business, right? Yes, we could succumb to the pressures around us and the pressures of the community, or we can make decisions that have some business sense behind it, and make decisions that follow patterns in business, that really have stood the test of time in how to set yourself up for the best long-term success. And that's really what EverEarn has been about from day one. So here we are now. We're coming close to the end of February, beginning of March. We talked about with our own community all the way back into October when we announced that we were heading in a direction to get multi-chained. And so here we are now today. We're presenting in front of your community the fact that we are moving on to the Polygon network now. So already on BNB, already on ETH, and now moving on to Poly. Some quick high-level details, Glenn, because then we're going to talk about some of the contract features, also cover why, but just so we're aware, so the public whitelist presale will be starting on March the 3rd. That's this Friday, 7 p.m. UTC or 2 p.m. Eastern. We're just waiting from stumbling on my own words. Just waiting for confirmation from Rug Free Coins, who is our development partner, that this has been set up and confirmed, and we'll get the link out to everyone. And then we'll be live launching on March the 10th at 7 p.m. UTC or 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll be launching on QuickSwap on the Matic mainnet. So right now, registration for the public whitelist presale is open. You can hop on over to everearn.net. You'll see a big bold text referencing clicking here to register for the whitelist presale. That'll take you over to the Academy, and you can complete your registration. So that's open right now, and that's running right now. Of course, once the presale is registered on Pink Sale, as most of you know, that's going to blitz out an alert to roughly 50,000 people on their alerts. So those who register now will probably beat the rush to register. Probably even by a few hours. So it will be a lottery system for selecting from the presales. Now, because we're on Pink Sale, we will reasonably overfill the whitelist presale, but at a bare minimum, there would be 100 spots available for the whitelist presale. We're going to get into that for a moment. So the information. So just so we're all clear, while we have the public whitelist presale coming up, there was a private whitelist presale round. That's important because, of course, that is a seed round. Since we're not pulling income from the other blockchains to fund moving on to Poly. 10% of the total supply was set aside for the private whitelist presale. It's important to understand that for us, a private whitelist presale isn't just about people registering their email addresses and providing their wallets, but that they actually had to be members of the current community. They had to be holders of EverEarn token as well already, so that we could accurately line up usernames against TG names or Twitter names, and absolutely ensure that for round one, only one actual person could buy in, as opposed to one unique wallet, which could potentially allow one person to get multiple wallets in. So round one, which was open to all general holders who held at least 20 million EARN, they could buy up to $750 worth of EARN Poly as part of the private whitelist presale. That 250 translates into 62 million EARN Poly. Of course, if you convert that translates into about 195.31 Matic. There's about 59 individuals who invested as part of round one. There is no vesting, so there's no hold period on this. So their max buy-in was $750 max, and it was composed of roughly 59 individuals. Now, we did hold as well around two. The community did come to us and talk about how some of our larger investors wanted to ensure that they not only supported the project, but they did so with their money. So these are large supporters who want a bigger piece of the pie, but they want more skin in the game, and they really want to be a part of making EverEarn move forward. So we did open up a round two and allowed a purchase during the private presale of up to $5,000 max. However, the terms and conditions were that they would agree to a 90-day vesting period. During that 90-day period, they would receive zero of that investment. So it would only release at the end of the 90-day period. Now, because we are a rewards token, the rewards are paid out based upon how much EverEarn you hold. So it is a vesting blacklist period, meaning they will have the EverEarn in their wallet, not their main wallet, a secondary wallet, but that wallet will then be blacklisted for 90 days within the contract. So they will not be able to touch any of the EverEarn in that wallet. They will not be able to sell any of it, transfer any of it, nor will they be able to use that wallet to buy any more of it. They will, however, still be able to receive rewards based upon what they hold, and they will still be able to touch those rewards. So only the EverEarn will get blacklisted. And this will absolutely ensure transparency and fairness. Increased risk, increased reward, but making sure that there's clarity and transparency. For the public whitelist presale, there's a 17.7 billion tokens being made available, or 17.7% of the total supply. The conversion rate would basically be 195.31 Matic will get you 59 million earn poly, with a 195.31 Matic minimum buy and a 585.94 Matic maximum buy. Now, of course, the numbers are estimates right now until it's finalized. Of course, we know the price fluctuates a little, so that number might change a little between now and when the presale is actually fully registered. The soft cap that we're shooting for is 15,000 Matic, with a hard cap of 58,593.75 Matic. Would have been nicer if that number was fully rounded, but that's not quite how it works out. If you convert that to dollars, basically it's about a $75,000 hard cap, which means we would be looking to launch at a converted USD market cap of roughly $365,000 as a starting market cap to launch. Now, the price that you see in the public whitelist presale will be the same price that we launch at. Of course, the big difference is in the public whitelist presale, you're getting those tokens without any tokenomics applied to them. But once we go live and once you buy the tokens off the chart, there's that 15% tokenomics that comes into play. We've gone out of our way to make sure that the distribution of tokens matches the other two blockchains. So I'm not going to walk through everything that's on the charts, but if you focus in on the middle part of the circle, so basically about 45% of the supply will be in public domain, meaning immediately available to be held by investors. 16 to 17%, of course, will be burned at launch so that it mirrors the same amount of burned tokens as the other two blockchains. And then 38% will be sitting as either locked on the launch pad or blacklisted within the contract. And that blacklisting is a very important feature for us because it ensures that we can provide the community with certain levels of guarantees that tokens set aside specifically for project use cannot be sold or transferred by anyone for any reason. So I talked about some of the features within the contract and some of those features that I wanted to highlight, and this is specifically to the Polygon contract, is first and foremost, ownership's not renounced. We are an active team. We are actively involved in it, and we are actively evolving the project as we go. However, with the Polygon contract, total maximum taxes are locked at 15%, meaning there's no functionality within the contract to increase taxes beyond 15%, while at the same time, the total minimum rewards back to holders is locked at 11%. So there's no ability by anyone on the team to decrease the amount of rewards below 11%. That means that remaining 4% in the middle there, that is all that the team can adjust. That 4% that goes towards either liquidity or buyback or marketing. That is the only part of the tax that the team has the ability to adjust. And that is so that depending on where the need is at, those taxes can be adjusted accordingly. If liquidity needs a little bit more, then of course the marketing can be brought down a bit and vice versa. But no ability to raise the taxes beyond 15%. And no ability to decrease the taxes below 11%, which would then in fact impact the holders and their rewards. We have built in the ability to host on sell-less dexes, not that it is a focus of ours, but that the ability to host on sell-less dexes should the opportunity present itself while also supporting tokenomics, the ability to support future NFT contract interactions, the ability to change the contract wallet. So there's always, of course, an owner wallet, a marketing wallet, an LP receiver wallet, a buyback wallet. Should, in the event that any of those wallets, for whatever reason, become compromised, the team has the ability to change those wallets to regain security. I did mention that there is a blacklist function. And I know some people get nervous about having a blacklist function in the contract because the immediate assumption is that, well, then that means the team can at any point in time stop anyone from doing anything. And the answer is yes, that's true. 100%. Of course it is. But again, you're looking at a team that has been in this space already for over a year within this project. And the original BNB contract also has this blacklist functionality. The number one purpose for the blacklist function is to be able to have tokens set aside for the purpose of use by the team. And when I say use by the team, I'm talking about receiving some of the rewards for the purpose of running the project. To date, we have not had any issues or concerns with that blacklist function. We've shown that we have the maturity to handle it and utilize it properly. The secondary reason for having a blacklist function is one concerning threat actors, where, you go and you click on a link that maybe you shouldn't have clicked on, and all of a sudden you begin to notice your tokens draining out of your wallet. And we have had that occur on numerous occasions with members of our own community. And in several instances, we've been able to prevent their tokens from being taken out of their wallet without their permission, or rather without their explicit permission. We have, in fact, been able to use the blacklist function to identify wallets that were stealing EverEarn tokens and stop them from dumping on the charts. And when we have used that functionality in the past for this purpose, we've ensured that we've been very open and transparent and clear with the community as to what our actions were and what investigation steps we took. So we do have a blacklist function. We do use it primarily to assure the community that team tokens cannot be suddenly dumped on the chart. And then secondarily, we offer it to community members themselves to help protect them against threat actors attempting to steal their tokens. We do have the ability to recover any money sent directly to the contract. We have seen this happen on occasion. People new to crypto investing open up their wallet and accidentally send the funds directly to the contract, at which point, in most instances, it's like, so sorry for your loss, but there's no way to recover that. We have the ability to recover that. We have the ability to adjust the contract sell limits and timings. I mean, we are a rewards token. So the contract does collect tokens and then does sell them for the distribution of rewards. So we have the ability to adjust those sell limits and the frequency of the sells to prevent the contract sells themselves from dumping on the chart. We also have the ability to manually inject money into the contract for the purpose of direct distribution of rewards out to holders. Now, again, keep in mind, like I said before, the utility of EverEarn is to provide passive income. So the development that we're working on as we move through the timeline is to bring in external sources of revenue. And those external sources of revenue would then be injected into the contract for reward distribution out to holders. So the development and the tools are not necessarily the utility as much as the passive income is the utility. So the ability to inject rewards directly into the contract is a really great feature because it means it gives us the option to not have to buy tokens to get that money into the contract and into the hands of investors. We can choose to go that route, or we can choose to directly inject for direct distribution. And then lastly, and this is the latest update for the Poly contract. Originally, we had updated the contract, starting with the ETH contract, to be able to switch between USDC or BUSD as the stablecoin of choice as a hedge against potential future instability. We've gone ahead with Poly and altered that so that we could actually choose any on-chain token as the reward token of choice or reward crypto of choice. And again, that is essentially a hedge against future uncertainty. We've learned very quickly that there's basically no guarantees even with stablecoin, with some of the moves the US is making, and maybe nothing will come out of it, maybe something will, but as a hedge against the future, we want to make sure that when it comes to passive income, we don't close off any options to us. So if for some reason, for instance, on BNB, just as an example, if for some reason all of a sudden BUSD is no longer in favor or there's too much risk there, we could switch over literally within minutes to another on-chain token and continue just as normal. Just simply let the community know that we've made the update and the change. And this really does offer a layer of protection against future uncertainty as we move forward. We currently have the audit for the Polygon contract in progress by Rug-Free Coins. They are our development partner. They oversee all of our development and act as governance to development. We are, of course, once we're on pink sale for the Poly contract, we'll be completing KYC through them. But we have at this point completed KYC multiple times over the past year through Identify, through Solid Proof, through Pink Sale, Dex Tools, AADS, Flues Trade. So we are literally KYC'd all over the place, but we will, of course, be completing KYC again so we get that badge on Pink Sale. Our influencers, partners, and marketing, as it stands right now, some of the big ones, of course, we've got Mike the Investor, Rug-Free Coins, as I already mentioned, Crypto Zeus, obviously Whale Coin Talk is part of our marketing, Mob the Boss Crypto, Glorious, Jerka Calls. We're already at, marketing pushes of over or encompassing over 500,000 followers at this point for this one specific push on Poly. Glorious and Crypto Zeus already dropped videos this morning, which were absolutely fantastic. And of course, big shout out to Mike the Investor, who continues on with us as a brand ambassador. And that means, of course, that not only do we have live AMAs with Mike the Investor, but he repeatedly and continuously represents us as a brand ambassador, not only on his Twitter Spaces and Twitter channel, but also in AMAs that he has with various people. We're very, very happy to be working with Mike, and we're equally excited to be working with Rug-Free Coins, who again oversees all of the development that we work on, including the way we launch the token. So when we launched the EverEarn ETH token, Rug-Free Coins held on to the contract ownership literally for the first week of launch. So all the way through the pre-sale, through the launch and the first week of launch. This allows us, again, for new investors to be able to offer an assurance that there is no risk, for instance, of a honeypot or a rug pull, because the core team doesn't even have ownership at that point. It's held by a respected, well-known, SAFU-rated, according to pinksale.finance, SAFU-rated development team. And it gives us access, as a partner, it gives us access to their team of over 30 developers as well, too. So we've been working with them for a while now, and we'll continue to work with them. And we're super excited at that partnership as well, too. So wrapping back around, to make sure that we give lots of time for questions and interaction. The important dates coming up: March the 3rd, the public whitelist pre-sale opens up. March the 10th, the launch occurs, and the updated dashboard on the EverEarn dashboard happens. And then, of course, March the 17th is the expected release of the Earn Poly BUSD staking apps. Once we do go live, that also opens up the Triple Tiara Takedown promotion. So basically, in a nutshell, and there's more details online on the website, but in a nutshell, it's buy and hold, don't sell. Excuse me. Buy and hold, don't sell, don't transfer. And you'll have a shot on each one of the blockchains. At that point, 3 wallets, each holding 1% of the tokens. We'll be collecting stable coins during a month-long promotion for the Triple Tiara Takedown. At the end of the month, those that qualify for that promotion will distributively split all of the stable coin that is built up in those 3 wallets across 3 blockchains, as well as qualify to win up to one of 25 prizes, up to each worth being up to $1,000, depending on how well the promotion does. So up to 25 prizes, each worth up to $1,000, and those who qualify for the promotion will have a shot at winning one of those. So, that you might think is already pretty exciting. That's great. We're getting onto Polygon. We're launching on the 3rd blockchain. But beyond that, because that basically takes us into March. Beyond that, of course, as at a high level, March, April, it's Polygon and the Triple Tiara Takedown and the staking apps. Then we're looping back around We are migrating Airbnb, not relaunching, migrating to V2, so that it has the exact same contract as the Polygon one, so the same features, the same safeguards. Also migrating the staking apps on Airbnb as well too. We do have Arbitrum exploration already started, but we'll give a community an update with regards to where our position is with that. Because there has been an appetite for adding one more blockchain, but we haven't made any commitments yet. So we are looking at potentially Arbitrum, but again, nothing confirmed at this point. I can tell you, of course, there's, and maybe keep this quiet a bit, but we've also signed an NDA with a possible tokenomics exchange development. We can't really say much more than that, but of course, our opinion when it comes to exchanges is that if it's going to support a tokenomics, then we definitely want to be on that exchange. So talks are ongoing with that too, and we'll provide the community updates as we move through that. But when we get into April and May, we migrate over to Airbnb V2. There'll also be the Quadruple Queen's Quest, which is another month-long promotion, again, providing the opportunity to distributively split the stablecoin rewards coming out of, again, those 3 wallets holding 1% of the supply. Then we'll loop around for Earn ETH. When that liquidity unlocks around the end of May, we'll be migrating Earn ETH over to V2 as well, again, to make sure that all 3 contracts are all at the same level, have the same version. And then we'll be heading into a new feature, which is the EverEarn Active XXX rewards. And basically, it's a permanent program that will be designed to reward active holders. So those holders who continue to invest each and every month, and we'll be providing them with the opportunity to increase the amount of rewards that they can hold in the form of native blockchain tokens. So you would have the opportunity to not just get the stable coin that you get now for holding, but potentially split a share of BNB, ETH, and Matic tokens by being an active investor. We also have the rebranding and the sales funnel website release, potential beta version of a lottery reveal, and potential beta release of the first attempt at an external income reveal as well too. So very interesting things coming up. Us, we don't like to overhype or oversell what it is we're trying to do. That's very important and critical for us, that we don't overhype it. We believe in being as transparent with the community as possible. So while we will provide the community with advanced information, we do go out of our way to make sure that we're not overhyping things, so that people get the false impression that we're about to deliver something where that may not be a reality for months. And that's just how we are as a team. So this is basically the wrap up of our Polygon push. One of the things that I did want to mention, of course, because it wasn't covered in the sales deck, which I realized, is each one of these token launches, BNB, ETH, and now Poly, the tokens are untethered. So they are not bridged or tethered in any way, shape, or form. That means they are going up on the listing sites as separate tokens. That's very important for us, to ensure that each has its own chart and each increases and pushes that visibility out there. We've had, especially the new members that are joining us, ask, why are we moving to 3 blockchains? Why are we not just spending our time focusing on development and utility within one single blockchain, put all of our time, attention, and effort there? And the answer is, as we covered previously, I believe too, Glenn, when we were last here, is because it's about ensuring that we have or achieve the greatest visibility and the greatest access to the greatest number of investors out there. Like a brick and mortar store, yes, you can open up your location, and sure, yeah, you've got access to those, potential customers immediately around you, but you open up a website, you offer home delivery, you open up another location. Each one of these steps increases the potential of your brand awareness and the potential of your customer base, so that in tough economic times, like we have already seen through 2022, and potentially what we're going to continue to see in 2023, by having that expansive reach to growing your customer base, it's one more trigger that you can pull to ensure that you continue to survive through economic downtrends and even grow during an economic downtrend. And at the end of the day, the direct benefit to holders with us being a multi-chain token is that it increases our chance of continuing forward down the road. We're not reliant upon, one single blockchain, a single point of failure, being just one negative contagion away from not being able to continue to run, but ensuring that we have that firm base from which we can grow upon by being straddled across, just the right amount of initial blockchains to ensure that we can extend our reach as much as possible. So, that's where we are. I appreciate the time for letting me go through the slide deck presentation. I hope that was insightful for many of you. Again, you still have the ability to register for the whitelist presale. Just hop on over to EverEarn.net. You can't miss it. It's going to be big and bold. Polygon whitelist registration. You click on that. That takes you over to the Academy. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And Glenn, thank you once again for allowing me to drone on in my presentation. You're very, very gracious that way. So I will hand the reins or the active mic back over to you.
It's great. You can do a great presentation for us. Makes my job easier, and well explained there. Thank you very much, Dave. Going over a couple of things there. I might have missed it, but the public whitelist pre-sale, is that going to be on a launchpad, or is that going to be on the EverEarn website?
So the whitelist pre-sale is on the launchpad on Pink Sale. Registration for the whitelist pre-sale is on the EverEarn.net website. Actually, the EverEarn.net website takes you to our Academy site, which you were using as the registration platform.
Okay. So if an investor goes onto the website and goes into the pre-sale whitelist spot, is it going to be like how many people are going to be sort of picked if it's oversubscribed?
So we're looking at 100 spots. However, we know how this works with Pink Sale. So the pre-sale will be reasonably overfilled. So I know people have had bad experience with this in the past, overfilled pre-sales where it's like it was 3 times the number of people who got in that could possibly ever get in, and that was just completely unreasonable. We did this with our first pre-sale. You saw this as well, Glenn, with our ETH pre-sale, which unfortunately, again, FTX. But we had overfilled our pre-sale by, I believe, and I know, Doug, you're in the background. You may not be able to talk, but I believe we only overfilled by about 17%. 18%. And that was based upon a calculation that we've seen in the past where roughly 10% of those who do in fact sign up for a whitelist pre-sale really don't have any intention of buying as much as they want to have a reserved spot. And then another 5% ultimately change their mind on the amount that they would like to buy in. And then we allotted another 5-6% for market changes in pricing, which might change a person's position in being able to buy it at the max value. So we do build in a bit of an overflow, but it is 100 whitelist spots. So we do build in a bit of an overflow to ensure that by going with a whitelist pre-sale, we also don't end up in a spot where everybody's bought but still haven't filled.
Great, Dave. And you've got anti-whale, anti-bot, and max transactions. And is Polygon going to be the same contract as the Ethereum smart contracts?
Yep. So there's still a max transaction limit on the Polygon contract. And we've talked about my opinion on anti-whale measures before. So there is that 0.25% max transaction limit. And some people may say, well, how is that an anti-whale measure? Because ultimately, if someone wants to sell off, for instance, 1 billion tokens, they're going to sell off 1 billion tokens. Well, yes, that's true, except they're going to have to do it in 4 chunks as opposed to one whole thing and just massively dump on the chart. So there is the max transaction limit in there. That is the only anti-whale measure that's in the token, or sorry, that's in the contract. There is no other limit on there. We also don't have different buy sell taxes. So it's 15% in, 15% out. That's full stop. So selling doesn't incur a higher cost than buying. Because really, and again, this has been our maintained position from the beginning, is that we want investors to be able to do what investors do. And if someone's a day trader and they believe they can make that work for themselves, then great. If someone's a holder, then great, let them hold. But otherwise, we really shouldn't be interfering in the natural and normal day-to-day operations of an investor. And we really shouldn't be putting blocks in place to prevent them from doing so legitimately.
Okay, awesome, David. And you've got the 1% buyback and burn, the same as Ethereum and the BSD. And
correct.
The solar flare function as well.
So in Poly, so we introduced this with Ethereum. We'll continue to hold it in Poly. So what we saw with the BNB contract is having the solar flare function, which is really just the name that we call our burn function, is great because, of course, it puts a buy on the chart and then immediately burns the tokens, and everyone can see in the transaction, like, oh, look at that. That's a solar flare. That's awesome. But what we found was that by having the tokens stored within the contract itself, that actually led to confusion with regards to, whether tokens were actually being burned by the contract. Since, of course, you can't leave that on all the time. You do need to be able to build up a little bit of a buffer so that you can use it when you need it. And some confusion with regards to, when you use it, it says solar flare no matter what. So is this a big one? Is this a little one? What's the plan? So what we found was that investor reaction to separating out the buyback mechanism into its own wallet was a much more visible and transparent item for investors, where they could actually look at the wallet and say, okay, how many tokens has the wallet actually purchased off of the chart? How many has it then burned? How much is it sitting on and holding on to, waiting to be burned? So much more transparent way to approach it. It doesn't sound as cool, but it is definitely a much more transparent way to approach it. Now, to be clear, when the buyback wallet does make purchases, it does purchase tokenomics free. And the reason for that is because any income in the buyback wallet has already been taken from taxes. So that's tax money already. So we're not going to tax the tax. Otherwise, you have a cumulative depreciating effect because some of that income is now going back in to be retaxed. So that's the only wallet that's allowed to purchase off the chart without any tokenomics associated with it, but because it's already taxed money. Similarly, any tokens that it does buy off the chart, if it holds on to those tokens for the purpose of metered burning, that wallet is excluded from collecting any type of rewards whatsoever. So the only thing that it can do is buy off the chart and burn the tokens. If it sits on the tokens for a little while just to meter out the burns, it's not taking anything away from the investors in terms of rewards being collected.
Okay, great. I see, David. EverEarn wallet. That's one of the utilities. You can use BNB, ETH, and Poly chain. Any tokens on the chain you can track. I was wondering if you're looking to expand that into more features for investors to follow their sort of portfolios in the future.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out of there at the beginning. Apologies, Glenn.
The EverEarn wallet, Dave, and any tokens you can track on the BNB, Ethereum. If you look.
The wallet tracker. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of our wallet tracker. I know it's been popular in the past to say, we've released our own wallet. We've gone a separate route. We've gone with a wallet tracker. And really what that means is that it's an embedded browser application, an HTTPS secure browser application. The wallet market is very, in my opinion, it's overfilled right now with quote unquote wallets. And the reality is that most wallets are simply clones on top of other wallets and just reskin differently. I mean, to be fair, realistically, and Flu's Trade has already offered this as well as us to well already. We can simply opt to begin using their wallet if we wanted to, and they'll just reskin it in our colors, and we could call it our wallet. But that wouldn't be the real thing. So our wallet tracker is a browser application. It allows you to track all of your tokens, whether they're on the BNB blockchain, ETH blockchain, or Poly blockchain. You don't have to connect your wallet to use it. You can simply paste in the wallet address there is no functionality that puts your wallet at risk in any way, shape, or form. It gives you a really great single pane of glass to see all of the tokens that are in your wallet, including the dust ones sitting around. And it's meant to track the 7, 30, and 60-day variations so that you can just, again, really get that single pane of glass to take a look at everything that's in your wallet without having to switch networks, without having to, go through endless scrolling, and just put it all on one page for you.
Okay, great, Dave. And you've got the NFT minting as well. I was wondering if projects can approach you then and mint a series of their NFTs, and investors can mint some for, say, family and friends. How does that sort of work with the NFT minting?
Yeah, we really like our NFT minting. We, again, haven't gone out of our way to be like, oh, look, massive utility, NFT minting. Again, in my opinion, this is a market that's already quite saturated, but it is a BNB blockchain NFT minter. You literally can drag and drop an image, an animation, a music file straight into the NFT minter application. You indicate a category, indicate a name, give a description if you'd like, and mint. And because you're minting on the BNB blockchain, you can literally do it for pennies. And it, mints it, and now you're the owner of it. It's in your wallet. We have an NFT tracker companion application as well too, which allows you to see all of the NFTs associated with your particular wallet. And you can literally take that NFT to any marketplace that supports BNB blockchain NFTs and do whatever you like with it. I think it's really great because for a lot of people, price of getting into NFT minting and getting into NFTs in general can be quite prohibitive, especially on the ETH blockchain. And they're still quite prohibitive. And this really gives people who want to mint NFTs. My wife, her hobby is painting. And I mean, like on canvas painting. And I mean, she, blows my mind away with some of the things that she can do. And, she's turning them into NFTs so that she can, not only have them, but potentially build a library up to sell them. And it's great because she can mint an NFT for less than $1 on the BNB blockchain. And then she can do whatever she wants with it after that. So again, this is a feature that's provided to our community at no additional charge. Really, the NFT minter and NFT tracker was chiefly designed to prove that something like an NFT minter, especially on the more cost-effective blockchains, these are not moonshots. These are basic utilities that maybe should become a part of the standard that investors expect when they're thinking about attracting investors and the type of basic services that they provide their community.
Awesome, Dave. That's great. Your wife can get involved with crypto through real life artwork and produce NFTs, and that's definitely the future, I think. And going into partnerships, you've been around a long time. Have you been building some partnerships in the crypto space as well?
Yeah, we've been super careful about developing and then announcing partnerships. And for a while there, especially this past year, it almost seemed like partnerships became a thing. with different cryptos announcing partnerships with each other and folding into each other. We've been very, very careful about that. If you ever come into our AMAs, or if you ever get a chance to listen to Doug will tell you, partnerships are great when there is a specific advantage to you for forming a partnership. And in most instances, if you're forming a partnership with another company or another project that's maybe a little bit above you or at the same level or a little bit below, you really gotta ask yourself, what is the strategic advantage of that, right? Really, what you want to be doing is forming partnerships with those considerably above you, so that there is a direct benefit for you to have that partnership, and there, as a reciprocal or downstream effect, that there's a benefit to your community. Now, we've formally formed a partnership with Rug-Free Coins. We announced that quite some time ago. They are our go-to for development. And for us, it's incredibly strategic because it gives us access to a pool of up to 30 blockchain developers. who've been in this space longer than we have. And of course, it gives us access to that repository of information, of experience. 30 developers over in the blockchain space coming up. I think it's over 2 years at this point. I mean, the number of projects that they've worked on, and they don't violate any NDAs, but when it comes time to sitting down and talking about, what is possible, what can we do, what should we be looking at, where should our eye be, it really does allow us to take advantage of bringing in an entirely different lens than just what myself and the rest of the core team sees. Right? It brings in that level of experience of, here's where the trends are going, or here's some of the newest things that have already come out. Here's maybe where you should be looking at. And of course, being in a partnership with Rug Free Coins, of course, it also gives them skin in the game on our side to be an active partner with us. So we're super excited about that. Our other official partner, of course, is Real World brand development company, EY Studios. So of course they're just wrapping up a brand new, fully branded sales funnel website for us, which is really going to bring in a next level look and feel of professionalism and really focus on an e-commerce style sales funnel approach without, of course, appearing scammy or appearing memey, and really establish a nice, solid-looking brand that people can look at and go, "Wow, yeah, I want to know more about this." So those are the two partnerships that we've officially announced to date, and we have been slow in that regards because it really is, it's strategic. You form the wrong partnership, and it could be devastating. So we've taken our time with that.
Great, David. And what's the future plans for the year ahead? I mean, personally, I'd like to see you maybe do a launchpad in the future. You're a people person. You've built up a great reputation in the space. You're onto free blockchains now. Is there any sort of plans, around launchpad or anything else utility-wise in going out throughout the year here?
Yeah, so over the next 2 to 3 months, the big plan is to, of course, get launched on Poly, come around and V2 migrate the other 2 tokens so that all three tokens are on the exact same version platform of the contract. We will be launching an add-on rewards program, permanent add-on rewards program. So that'll actually increase, especially for active holders, increase the amount of rewards that you could be earning for holding and being active. So not just a stable coin reward, but also an on-chain reward. So effectively up to 6 on-chain rewards if you hold across all 3 blockchains. The new branded look and feel of EverEarn, including the new branded sales funnel website as well too. And then it's to focus on literally a page of more than 50 different development ideas that we are in various phases of vetting through, not just through Rug Free Coins, but of course through others as well too. We do kind of play things a little close to the chest again, Glenn, in what we announce. Because it is very easy to accidentally give people the wrong idea. And, it's as much as you want to go, "Oh yeah, man, Glenn, yeah, by, whatever, June, brand new launchpad coming out. It's going to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G features," right? So here's the problem with that. What happens if there's a sudden turn in the market that's way worse and now you can't deliver? Or, if someone beats you to the punch and all of a sudden this is no longer a good thing, or, there's 100 different items out there that can go wrong, least of which being the moment you say, "We're working on this and it'll come out in the next 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months," everyone else out there starts working on it too. And we know this, right? There's a dozen people working to clone you and copy you, and you give away your strategic advantage. So we do play things kind of close to the chest, kind of Apple, style, in that we really do try to only open up 1 to 2 months of roadmap at a time, but we remain in constant communication with the community. So we have no problem telling them that we're looking in this direction. We're considering that direction. We do have community volunteers who help us vet information on potential directions for development. So we are clear and transparent in that way too. But when it comes to, making an official announcement of something that's still, months away, we do try to be very mum on that and very careful because we don't want to overinflate expectations, and we, more than anything, really don't want to overpromise and under-deliver in what we've said.
Okay, Dave. Yeah, that's fair enough. Investors can be like piranhas when you mention an idea, and then it's like, when's it coming? You said this, and yes.
Well, and it also changes the perception, right? Like you say, okay, I've got whatever, again, Launchpad coming out, and today it's, oh, great. Well, it's coming out in 3 months. That's amazing. But what happens 3 months from now when you finally announce Launchpad? Everyone's like, yeah, we've known about this for 3 months. Big deal. Right? All of a sudden, you've lost all of your punch, all of your power, and 15 others have come out with the exact same thing because you announced it 3 months ago.
Yeah, investors can sort of be happy for 10 minutes, and then when next, when this, when that.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Going forward for the next sort of say quarter, what's the marketing plans for EverEarn when you launch the Polygon and and your Ethereum and BSC chain EverEarn also?
So we've really turned our attention to focusing on solidifying up our socials from a marketing perspective. So we have just opened up our Discord server. We know that Discord is quite popular amongst the Ethereum and the Polygon investors. So we have just opened up a new Discord server. And we are focusing on being more visible on Twitter Spaces. So we are going to begin implementing basically a round robin, or as much as possible, joint AMAs covering at the very least Telegram, Discord, and Twitter Spaces, so that we can ensure that we're available to community members in the different blockchains on the areas that they want to be able to find us. We think that really putting a hard focus on our socials, getting them solid, is going to be critical as we move through the calendar. All indicators, and I swear to God, I wish I had a crystal ball, but all indicators are that 2023 is going to turn out to be a very tough year financially, from Canadian perspective or American perspective. So a lot of time, effort, and energy during the time that we've been through now has been to focus on putting effort into the socials and making sure that they're as strong as possible, and we will be continuing with that. Of course, we will also be continuing to work with and find additional brand ambassadors as partners. So right now we do have Mike the Investor as a brand ambassador who continues to work with us, which is great. We are looking to expand that out. We are picky because we want to make sure that, if we label an influencer as a partner, as a brand ambassador, that it is very, very tightly mirrored to who we want to present ourselves to be. So we're not interested in someone, again, who's going to overhype us or oversell us, make us seem like something we're not. So really the big focus from a marketing and advertising perspective as we move forward is really to build out our partnerships with influencers as brand ambassadors, as well as ensure that we've got very, very solid social media presence out there.
Okay, great. And going back to the Polygon, the other two tokens, because if someone only wants to work with, say, BSC, they might want to buy the BSC token. Is there a minimum tokens for rewards?
No. So there's on none of the contract is there a minimum. Keep in mind, though, that said, you could go out and buy one token each. And you will build up rewards on that one token each. It may take a long time before you see the reward payout on that one token, but no, there's no minimum that you have to buy before your wallet qualifies to earn rewards. Quite literally, the moment you own one token, the contract works out what percentage of the supply you own, and then begins reserving your rewards based upon that percentage, based upon, currently anyways, the transaction volume. Great. So no, we don't have a limit on that.
That's a fairer system, because I've been burnt a few times before where I bought, say, 0.5 BNB, and then I find out I need to have to buy another 2 BNB, and I paid all that tax, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh no, I'm not going to get rewards. Yeah, so it is fairer. And then there are small investors in developing countries that, a smaller amount of passive income can be great for them week to week as well. So it's great that everyone can get involved there. And the smart contract audit for Polygon, has that been done, or will that be done after launch?
No. That's actually in progress. So that'll be done before launch. We're hoping within the next 24 hours to have that audit of the smart contract done. No. The KYC and the audit will be done before launch. So that's not a problem there. So, but I just wanted to come back and. Sorry, go ahead, Doug.
No, sorry, go ahead. you can find out the EverEarn price charts as well are on Binance, Crypto.com, Coinbase. It's basically all over the place.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I just wanted to chime in. When it comes back to minimum amount held and stuff like that, you're right. You do have those small investors, and it can be quite critical. I mean, of course, again, if you have, only a few tokens, obviously expectations need to be adjusted. But this is part of the reason as well why too we're bringing in the new reward program, which will be a permanent program that we've called the XXX Active Member Rewards. Because as much as you need to ensure that you have that you are rewarding members of all sizes, you then also have not just your diamond handers, right? Not just your core group of holders who never sell, but in that group, you then also have your core group of diamond handers who constantly, month over month, continue to increase their bag buying the dips. And this is something, this program is one that's going to be focusing in on those investors, the investors who buy and hold and continue to increase their holding through the month. This new program, which is going to reward them in BNB, ETH, and Matic, this new program is going to focus in on those investors to specifically reward them as active holders in addition to the rewards that they already get just for holding. So we're really excited about that because I think it really addresses a group of holders within the community that really haven't been highlighted before. And those type of investors definitely need to be rewarded, and they need to be shown that they're appreciated within the community because they're the ones who help hold price floors. They're the ones who buy the dips. They're the ones that, DCA in over months and years. So yeah, we're very excited about that coming.
Definitely do. Did you say? I remember last time we talked. You get a bonus if you held all two at the time. Now it's free. Is that still in place? Where you get a bonus?
So that would be the Triple Tiara Takedown promotion. The last time you and I talked, it was the Double Diamond Dash promotion. So yeah, there'll be the Triple Tiara Takedown promotion that runs during the month, the 1 month period that Poly is launched. And then, of course, when we migrate over to BNB V2, and I keep saying migrate as opposed to relaunch, so I want to make sure that we're clear on this too. Quite often with a relaunch, there's also the opportunity to buy more in a, quote unquote, additional private presale. This is not that. This is literally a migration for the purpose of bringing all of the current contracts up to the same level of version as the Polygon contract. So there won't be any price difference. It'll relaunch. It'll migrate over at the same price that it is at that moment in time. It'll just have get the upgraded contract. So when we migrate over to V2 of BNB, there'll be one more promotion called the Quadruple Queen's Quest, which again will give holders the opportunity to distributively receive a share of the stablecoin built up in the 3 1% wallets on each blockchain. And that'll be the last of the 4 promotions being run on that. Afterwards, those 1% wallets will go back to being charity wallets, which are paid out based upon vote from the community as to which charity should be supported. But at least for the Poly launch and then the BNB V2 migration, holders will have an opportunity to get that additional stablecoin reward incentive from all 3 blockchains.
Okay, great, Dave. And you mentioned earlier on Polygon can switch stable coins. So how many sort of stable coins can they switch to? Like you were saying, BUSD's in a bit of trouble with the American authorities.
Not just stable coin, Glenn. The Poly contract, which is why the others will be V2'd to this, will be able to switch to any other on-chain token. So even if it's, if the US has their way, and we know this, and this is not fear-mongering or anything, but if the US had their way, at some point, the only stable coin would be that, I don't know, that US stable coin, the one that sounds like, marijuana or whatever, US digital currency or something. I can't even remember the name of it. But, let's say that the currency that is around, that is preferred, is one that doesn't even exist today. So the Polygon contract, and within the next 90 days, the other 2 will as well, they will have the ability to switch over to any other on-chain currency as the reward token.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, you're covering all bases there, so that's great. Unfortunately, we've run out of time today.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Been great speaking to you again today. As we say, Whalecoin talks for crypto education and research. We recommend you check out the website white paper. And if anyone's got any more questions, join their official socials. We have the links in our main chat there. There wasn't many questions tonight, unfortunately, because me and Dave have been chatting. Plus, some people are in bed in Europe. It's quite late at night, but yeah. So check out the links in our main chat and head over to the socials if you've got any questions after the AMA for the community investors. And thank you very much for coming today again, Dave. It's been great speaking to you.
Thanks so much for having me. Big shout out to the Whale Coin Talk team. Love being here. You guys are great. And I think you guys are really a cornerstone in the moving forward of legitimacy within this space. Really love you guys and look forward to seeing and speaking to you guys again.
Thank you very much, Dave. I think we've got spin the wheel as well for 4 lucky winners. Active factors there. We can get the wheel.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me, Glenn.
Yeah.
I'm trying to share my screen here. Is it coming through?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll spin it 4 times, and we'll give some prizes to the people in the audience. And as Glenn mentioned, we still have the chat locked, so if there's anybody that's still unfamiliar with the work that Dave's been doing and EverEarn, all the official links are still right there in our main chat. You know, you can't miss them. You're probably not gonna get lost along the way, even if you just Google it. But we do have all the links there, and it's always great to see people like Dave, you know, that have been around for a while, still pushing, you know, still going for new chains, going for all the nice stuff that we love in this DeFi space. And we had some nice chats today with some lawyers, and I was listening in on you guys, you know, and yeah, there's a little bit of worry in the market around stable coins, around all of this and that, but keep in mind it's a bear market, it's a builder's market right now, so we'll probably see some form of regulation, whether it's good, whether it's bad. I think the DeFi space will probably adapt pretty well to it. So definitely, this has been an exciting space here, and thank you everybody for participating. It's been really nice. I have let me see, did I spin it enough times? 1, 2, 3. Yep, I got 4 IDs here, guys. We'll post the winners in our main chat after we finish up here, guys. So thank you everyone for coming. This has been great.
Thanks very much, T and Dave, and everyone from the EverEarn team. Take care. I'll finish the recording and send over a copy for you to share, and I'll share that in the main chat with our community investors who couldn't join the call today.